Listen, if you're a new trader, more than likely you're coming into this with the wrong expectations and the wrong ideas. In today's video, we'll talk about common expectations that new traders make that oftentimes leads them astray. Ready? Let's go. Welcome back to the video, guys. So today we're going to talk about expectations coming into the Forex market. And this is definitely a talk more geared towards our beginner traders, but there's definitely still value into the more advanced traders as well. Well, coming into the Forex market, and I'll use myself as an example, the expectations are, well, you see somebody making a whole bunch of money. You see somebody on their phone making $2,000, $20,000, $200,000 in just a single day. And for you, you may come in with the expectation, understanding that, yeah, I don't really understand what's going on in these charts and I'm gonna have to put in some time studying. But once you realize that the chart work doesn't take as long as you thought it would, and you feel like you start understanding a couple strategies and you understand this and that, now you start to build up a false expectation of when you expect to get to a certain level, when you expect to be a millionaire, when you expect to quit your job, etc. Right? I know for me, once I started learning technicals, once I started learning strategies, this was like 3 months into my trading journey, I was convinced that by month number 6, I'd probably be a millionaire. I was convinced that I would quit my job right before the summer, even thought about contemplating quitting it even sooner. And these are the types of expectations that we build as new traders. Why? Because truthfully, we don't really know the full story of things. There's a greater story behind all of these great traders that you see out here. These traders that are making thousands a day. There's a greater story behind me. There's a greater story behind Q, behind Swaggy C, Anthony's World, all of these guys who are making tons and tons of money each and every day. There's a greater story behind that. And this took years and years of experience. And what's not often talked about is that sometimes it took years and years of losing too. And I know it would be great if we could just come into this. We want to go hard for 2 to 3 months, even 6 months, and then see ourselves as being profitable. And I'm not saying that has never happened. There's always anomalies here or there. But for the most part, most people come into this, they see how tough it is to actually become profitable. They continue to lose and lose, and they eventually drop off after a couple months. Some drop off after a year or a couple years. But there's a small group of people that stick to it, that are determined to not quit, that come in with the expectation that, you know what, maybe I misunderstood what this actually took. Maybe, just maybe, I need to put in more work here or more work there. Maybe, just maybe, it's not the market's fault. It's not the person who sold me the course's fault. Maybe it's my fault, and I need to really hone in and perfect my craft. You see, out of those groups of people is where people are going to emerge to become the profitable traders in our niche. And it all starts with the mindset and the expectations that you have in your trading journey and throughout your trading journey, every step of the way. There's a greater expectation that, hey, I'm going to be a millionaire here and there. And maybe as a newbie, you don't understand what it takes. Now the expectation becomes, what should I be expecting between trades? Should I expect that just because I have a 3-trade winning streak, that every other trade is going to be a win? So that being said, I'm just going to up my risk uncontrollably? No, trading doesn't work like that. And no matter how good you are, you're going to incur losses, so you always have to protect your capital. Your expectation going into any trade is not necessarily how much money you could possibly make, although that is a tempting thought to just ponder on. But the primary concern and expectation should be that if I enter this trade, even if I lose, I do not expect to lose beyond this much money, because this is where my stop loss is going to be. This is where my trade is invalidated, and this is where I'm comfortable taking a loss. That's it. That is your primary expectation when it comes to a trade. Now, obviously, if you feel good about the setup and you have an A+ setup and you enter this trade, yeah, there's going to be a part of you that expects to win that trade. But the primary thing, the primary goal is to protect and preserve your capital. Because if you lose your capital, you blow your account, you're out of the game until further notice. And if you're a trader, you've gone through this over and over and over again. It's just not worth it. So be sure that when you enter each and every trade, that your expectation is that you know you will not blow your account on this trade. And you know that no matter what happens on this trade, you will be fine and you'll be able to move on to the next trade. The next wrong expectation that a lot of traders come into this with is that they're gonna find the holy grail and then that's it. They're just completely profitable and nothing else changes and that's it. And that's all she wrote. This is not the case as well. We have to understand the market is ever changing and the market is going to go through cycles as well. So where it changes over time, it also changes within a year. It has different seasons where your strategy may be very, very profitable in one particular part of the year, one particular season, and it's not as profitable in another part of the season. You need to be able to adapt to that, whether that means you're going to trade less and trade only A+ setups only when it comes to your strategy, or you have more than one strategy, and depending on how the market is during that season, it's adaptable to each season. So the expectation is not that things are just going to stay the way they are and you're just going to run into profits for the rest of your life. The expectation should actually be more so that you need to be a malleable trader. You need to be a fluid trader. A trader that can adapt to different times and adapt to different seasons and different conditions in the market. That's your expectations as a profitable trader. Not a trader who's just stuck in their ways thinking that there's only one way of doing things, but a trader who understands that the market goes through cycles, and when it does go through a cycle and when it does reflect that your strategy isn't as profitable as it used to be, you have a decision to make on how you adapt and continue your profitability in that market cycle. When you have that level of expectation for yourself, you just continue to keep yourself in the game of being profitable. And since we're talking about profitable, sometimes we have the wrong expectation of what it is to be profitable. To be honest, we sometimes are profitable and we can fall out of profitability. That can happen. But most traders think that you get profitable and you stay profitable. That's not always the case. Traders will go through losing streaks and long losing streaks, especially if they are unable to adapt to market conditions. So profitable is not necessarily a state, but it is something that you need to maintain if you're trying to continue to make money in these markets. All right, guys. So again, come into these markets with the right expectations. Don't come into these markets thinking you're going to be a millionaire tomorrow. Don't come into these markets thinking you're going to win every trade. And don't come into these markets thinking that once you lose a trade or two, that it's the end of the world. This is all a part of the game, but it all starts with your mindset, guys. If you fix your mindset the way it should be, then you're going to find yourself staying in this game for the long run. And that just means you're going to find yourself on the profitable end of things. All right. So I hope that each and every one of you comes into the market with the right expectations. And if you're already in the market, I hope you continue on with the right expectations so that you can continue to remain profitable. So I hope you gain value in this video, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, Jordan the Maestro, peace.